Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Astonishing Times, Rise of Kokin. This is a new book spinning out of the pages of Astonishing Times. So if you haven't read this, you don't necessarily need to have read this to get into the story. But it will give you, especially knowing everything that happens to this character later on, I think it'll give you a really, really good idea of where this characters come from. But let's talk about the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Frank J. Barbiere and Arris Quinones, art by Ruairi Coleman, colors by Roman Stevens, letters by Taylor Sposito, and design by Dylan Todd. So, as I mentioned, this is a book that is a prelude to everything we saw in Astonishing Times, specifically focusing on this character. Now, before I get into the description of this video, you may know that Arris Quinones is the host of the Variant YouTube channel. So when he originally announced that he was doing the first book, I was very excited because I've been a big fan of the channel for a long time. I've met Arris a few times because he is local to my area. So it's really cool that I found out that there's a new book coming out through Comixology Originals. So let's talk about this specific issue. Spinning out of the pages of the smash hit Astonishing Times from Frank J. Barbiere and Arris Quinones with Ruairi Coleman on art, Rise of Kokin tells the story of Kokin, the mysterious cybernetic samurai. The story spans Kokin's life from the start as a young boy all the way to the powerful warrior we see in the pages of Astonishing Times. All will be revealed as we learn who trained him, where he comes from, and what he fights for. So yeah, I mean, if you've been reading comic books for a long time, this is Kokin's like year one story, and it's great. I was a big fan of the original series, and this was one of the standout characters to me. Like, really is one of the coolest characters in that series. So diving back into this, it's a perfect place to expand this universe, right? I think there's a lot of very interesting characters in Astonishing Times, but this one definitely is the perfect place to kind of kick things off and kind of keep working on some more. I think because these are creator-owned characters, both Barbiere and Quinones really understand and have probably plotted out where all these characters, what their motivations are. So this feels very much like a very natural expansion to that universe, which I think it's very much appreciated. Sometimes with books like these, some side characters may be given out to different creators where they may not have the same plans. I feel like as the original creators, they probably had at least some idea of what these characters, where they were coming from, and some of these stories that we're about to see. So very exciting stuff. This issue has a lot of really cool action, but also definitely expands on the mythology. We do get to see this character as a younger individual, so I think learning and seeing his upbringing just really colors so much more about everything we learn in Astonishing Times. So let's talk about the art, because Ruairi Coleman's back in like top form. I love how dynamic his paneling is, the pacing of the issues, even the zooming in on the little, the grins, the expressions, the character design for the, I'm gonna say samurai that are kind of chasing Kokin. Yeah, it all just really works, and just such a cool angle too as they're coming down the building. Like, very, very dynamic posing, very cool point of view shots, and just like definitely, definitely some violence. And that doesn't feel gratuitous. It feels truly earned. Like, it really feels like it belongs as part of the story. Um, I think the coloring, I just love the wash over of like this orange tone that's kind of in all of the issue, and especially because it helps a lot, because it helps you also distinguish when we jump back in time from this opening sequence to what we'll see in the next couple of pages, right? The coloring's very different. The character design, like, you immediately recognize a young version of our character, and you kind of get to see everything that we've been following around. So, yeah, these memories, they look great. I think they really color the world, and I'm very pleased with the pace, because although you would think maybe we would spend a lot of time in his childhood, we kind of get through some of this stuff very quickly to get to the more important part, or at least maybe the part that the creators really want to focus on for expanding this mythology. So yeah, this was great. This was a fantastic issue to kick off things. And if you have Comixology Unlimited, you should be able to read this. If not, you can buy it digitally from them as well. Or even if you want to wait, like Dark Horse uh, did publish the first volume of Astonishing Times once everything was wrapped up. So that's probably something that would be in the future, I would hope. So if you have read this, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.